Hello and welcome to the Build Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build some model kits. I'm also here to hang out with all of you, and I'm going to start things off by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 Blue emote into chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. If you feel like being a lurker, well, you can go ahead and lurk. That's also okay. It's a Thursday evening. I know Lord Crashton, Lashbrook is around. I know Lashbrook is around, because Lashbrook commented before we got things going, it's a lockdown, which is, yeah, I was playing Lockdown, which I'm fairly confident, like, it won't show up in the YouTube archive. So you're watching this on YouTube, you didn't hear that music. If you're watching this on the Twitch VOD, it might be muted. You might not hear at the beginning. Hopefully the whole stream isn't muted in the VOD later. But we'll come to that if that happens. I'll take a look, and Saturday, maybe I won't play Lockdown. Maybe I will play Lockdown. We'll have to fucking see how things go. Why was I playing Lockdown, Pat? Well, we'll get into that in a moment. We have some conversation to have about some current events and all of that stuff. But before we do that, before we get into the real, I am going to go and say, hey, it's the first of the month. It's May 1st. I got a new dance theme that I got going here. Also, I'm currently at 24 subscribers out of 40. The goal is to get to 40 subscribers. If you want to become a subscriber on the first day of the month, that would be great. Jump in, hop in, become a subscriber. That would be cool. If you want to gift a sub and be the first person to be on the gift sub leaderboard, you could do that as well. Start the month off strong. But yeah, it's a new month, and the same me. We'll keep it at that. Tonight's agenda, give me a quick second, just look here. Tonight's agenda, working on model kits. We're going to finish up the Zaku 2 type Solari from Requiem for Vengeance. We're going to put some cool stickers on this kit. And then, when that's done, we're going to start a new kit. The Gundam 00 Diver Arc, which is like, it's the 00, but also it's an expansion of it, so there's a lot more effects parts and a lot more bonus pieces. Hey, Lord Crashington, and it's kind of a lot. There's a lot going on with this kit. There's like 2 stickers sets, and just like, not too many stickers, but multiple sticker sets. It's going to be a little bit. Gundam 00, a Gundam series I enjoy. I like the 00. It's been a while since we built one, but this one looks cool. So we'll work on that. Let's go to the overhead camera. As you can see here, we're going to be doing some stickers. And as we do some stickers, I'm going to take a sip of water here. We'll talk about some of the news here. 2 big stories today. One is the sale of Polygon. Vox Media selling Polygon to another group of lovely people. And then also the writing on the wall for GiantBomb.com as it is. We will start with Giant Bomb, and then we'll talk about Polygon. Jeff Grubb, no longer an employee of fandom. So that is a big piece of news. Leaving that, continuing with his Game Mess Patreon and all of that work. New opportunities in the future, I'm sure, for Mr. Grubb. Jeff and I have met on one occasion in person and met online several times, of course. Jeff is good people. I am sad that he is no longer working there. I must admit, I am not currently 100% sure of the status of Dan Reichert. I just don't know, and I can't give you a full answer. Because, here's the thing. All we know about what's going on with Dan is what he has said on a live stream, on one of his own private live streams. And that's not fully reliable, because Dan is wrestle-brained. This is not a personal attack on Dan at all. This is just me trying to give some context for this. Like, Dan's like, I'm not going to be on anything Giant Bomb related. I'm not going to be on the Bombcast in the future. Basically saying, like, this current, these guidelines. Yeah, he's the hottest free agent in games media. Yeah. It's just a thing where I just don't know what's real and what's kayfabe, because he's the guide's got way too much traction. Yeah. Yes. It's just Dan said a lot of stuff, some of which is just not true, and some of which is probably true. That he did retweet a video of or reskeet a video of Ric Flair saying, "You gonna fire me? You're gonna fire me? Like, I already quit." And so, like, if the read that you wanted to take on this was that Dan Reichert is attempting to get himself fired, I would not, instead of being eventually laid off, I would not be surprised if that is Dan's intent. But again, that's conjecture, and I don't want to get involved in conjecture. What do we know? We do know that when Grubb was still there, Grubb said Grubb's boss's boss had changed. That's his direct boss was Dan. Dan's boss is Bacalar. Bacalar's boss was somebody at Fandom overseeing certain websites, right? So Bacalar's boss has recently changed, and Bacalar's new boss, for everybody's boss, but directly Bacalar's boss, had some questions / issues / uncertainty / disdain. One could maybe make a leap there about Giant Bomb and what it is and what it does. Yeah. Right now they're not getting paid to make videos and stream and make a video podcast. So, like, they are just being paid to wait until enough decisions are made with people higher than that boss, is my guess. My guess is that this boss who is making changes based on their own opinions can't make the change they actually want to make. If that makes any sense. Again, a lot of this is conjecture. I don't know. I do know they're not making stuff. They put out a statement that was possibly not written by a person, but definitely not written by a Giant Bomb staffer. You should take into account that 2 of the people who generally work for Giant Bomb also work for GameSpot. They were in a different position. Jeff Bacalar is management, and that makes things different for Jeff. He is in a management position. He has a lot of people that he answers to, but a lot of people answer to him that he is also going to be looking out for. As a creative / management person, he is in a uniquely bad position and also a good position. It makes things tough. But Minotti said that he is not going to be working. He's not going to be contributing to Giant Bomb anymore. And Grubb doesn't work there anymore. And what happens next, I don't know. I will not make any. I'm going to make any sweeping thoughts on what comes next for anybody or anything, because I don't know. Yes, Lord Crashington, one does have to take into consideration that Jeff Bacalar does have a family, and if your response to that is, well, Vinny has a family. Yes. Nextlander was a calculated decision that they did not make very lightly, and it was a bit reading the writing on the wall, but also getting out when the getting out was good. It's a different scenario to, I work here, I like working here, there's things I don't like about what's going on, but we're having fun in these ways, and we're making the most of these situations, versus, I don't like the direction of this place, I have friends and we've been thinking about this for a while. We're not coming to this decision lightly, and these are the steps that we have decided to make. Those are different conversations. But yeah, in general, it's it's different responses in different ways, and so I can only speak from my own personal experience. But when I got into management, I did it under duress. I did not mind having the responsibility of being in charge of training or in charge of making sure that scheduling was done, that kind of management. I did not mind that. I was not prepared for and was not trained properly for, in any way, shape, or form, dealing with like making sure that people were clocking in and clocking out, and also not lying about when they were clocking in and clocking out, and like disciplining people, and like being on call all the time and all that other stuff. Like, I just wasn't ready for that. In my personal experience, you find out pretty quickly if you are someone who is meant for management or is not meant for management. And often when you discover, oh yeah, all right, like, I don't know if this is what I want to do, but I'm pretty good at this, and this has got some longevity, and this has got some, like, there's some bonuses to this kind of work. Okay, yeah, I can do this. You also have to realize or figure out for yourself, well, what's the next step? But becoming a manager is like, how do I put this? Pay raises are pay raises. Responsibility that comes along with some pay raises is eventually you will end up in management. And you have to decide, am I doing this because I want to stick around in this job for longer? Or am I doing this because I want to move up the ladder in management or jump to a higher position at another company or that kind of thing? And it becomes a different conversation than, well, I want to keep working here, but also the cost of living has gone up, so I need a raise. Those are different things. And those are different responses. And it's just like, I am not here to say either is the way to go or either is the only way to go, or if you did, like all of those things. There is something to be said for never stepping into a management position, allowing yourself to be in the union, allowing yourself to not be a part of that machine, having collective bargaining working in your favor, or being able to even start the collective bargaining process, those kinds of things. Being part of a corporate entity often means that you are stuck cleaning up messes and being the go-between. So it's a lot. It's a lot to consider. And I don't take any of that lightly. I never have. I never will. Everyone's got to make the best decision for them when it comes right down to it. They just got to they got to figure out, like, okay, what's best for me? What's best for the family? All those things need to be taken under consideration, and they don't come easy. They shouldn't come easy either. Those kinds of decisions. So we don't know the future giant bomb. It does not look particularly great. A lot of people talking about that site and the times that they had there. A lot of people who getting on that couch at E3 was very important to them. Being guest on a podcast. Being invited to do a quick look. I relayed my own personal story. We talked about it here. Certainly. Where I was a fan of Giant Bomb and in the community a bit and a poster a bit and, message people on Twitter person. I became first known to Ryan and Jeff when they drove in together in the mornings because I would chat about comedy with them. As we all listened to Comedy Death Ray, which then became Comedy Bang Bang. Had a lot of comment about that, sent some things. I sent a care package with some UCB stuff a long time ago, and kind of became friendly with those guys. And then when the first PAX East, the second PAX East, the first one that I ever paneled at, I sent in my application. I shot my shot and asked Ryan, "Hey, will you be on this thing? Pope is doing it. because I had become friends with Eric through PAX stuff and him showing up at UCB. And Chris Kohler is my childhood friend. I was like, Chris is going to be on it. And basically, he said yes. And then I got the panel because Ryan Hartman was like, hey, is this going to be good? And Ryan Davis said, yeah, I don't know. Pat seems very funny. It's based on his UCB show. I don't know what it is. I didn't read the thing he sent me. Ryan never read any email that I sent him about the panel, which is okay because he's Ryan Davis. Like, it's all right. It was okay. He handed me his MiFi, his portable Wi-Fi thing to download videos, and then did try to make fun of me about him not knowing what did try to go down the line that I didn't explain anything. And I was just like, there's no way. There's just no way anyone's going to believe you, Ryan. But doing that, being associated with Giant Bomb, having them on my panels and helping them with their stuff and hanging out, being on a couple Beastcasts, opened doors for me that never would have been opened. I think I eventually would have gotten a PAX panel without Ryan. It would have been harder. I think that I would have been able to do League of Heels without Giant Bomb's backing. I think it would have been weird. They would have done it anyway without me being there. But if I did not get involved in Giant Bomb, I would not be streaming right now. I would not be doing this. My life would have been very different and lesser than. So Giant Bomb is really important to me. Even if I did, and I've talked about this, I haven't watched the live stream in a really long time. I've watched some videos here and there, listened to some podcasts, some dump trucks now and again. But Nextlander starting kind of soured me. And then Jeff's exit, Gerstmann's exit. Gerstmann's exit meant that I did not want to be there. Yes, I became a mod. Yes, Jeff streams the podcast on Tuesdays, and I'm a mod, so I'm going to be there. But, yeah. And then Jess, who I like and I think is very funny. Jess getting laid off made things harder. I liked the people that came in. I am not saying that I have never been Giant Bomb's dead to me because this new person is here. I've never been that way. I have found stuff to like about every person that has come through the doors of Giant Bomb and has worked there. Maybe the vibes weren't always the same. Maybe they were worse in some instances, but they were never bad, and they were never. It was never a deal breaker. There was never a point in my time in watching Giant Bomb stuff where I was like, "Well, I can't watch this anymore because of this person." Like, that's never been the case for me. It just never has. Things changed. And like I said, I kind of stopped paying attention as much. But also, that's fucking normal. Like, that's just part of life, is recognizing that, okay, well, it's not, people grow and change and find other things and kind of lose interest, and it's part of the whole deal. So but at the same time, I got to recognize Giant Bomb has meant a lot to me, and it being in this state, one of the things, these stickers look a bit annoying. They are, Lord Crashington. They're kind of like water slides, but they're not water slides, and it's very weird. These are not water slide decals, but they act like water slide decals, and they are annoying to put on. I don't know how many more of them I'm going to do. I kind of want to do around the feet, but like at least the front of the legs here, but I don't know. It says 8 and 11, and then 13 on the side, and 9 on the side, 7 up there. I don't think I'm going to do the feet. I don't think I want to do that. I did the chest piece, which I think looks cool. I did this symbol here, which I think looks cool. I think that's probably going to be it for this kit. I think that's it. I think I put some stickers on this kit. I'm feeling pretty good about that. But I think that's going to be it. I'm not going to do all the rest of these. I don't need to do that level of detail. But yeah, these are kind of annoying because they're somewhere in between water slides and just regular stickers. But that's probably going to do it for there. Yeah. Giant Bomb has always been a weird portfolio piece in a startup that was both the highlight and also possibly a deterrent. Then it became a weird sub-brand within a larger context, and then it became even more of a weird sub-brand, and then at a certain point, I guess it just becomes like, right, like I've never seen the numbers, but a high level of people wanting to support it. That's the main thing that's always been with Giant Bomb, is that it ran lean and it had a huge percentage of people willing to give it money for the amount of people that worked there and the amount of content that got put out. But on the other side, if you are an idiot and you are worried about brand safety and you think Giant Bomb being a weird website is going to negatively impact your ability to sell ads on wikis, your Wikia, then there's no way to help that. There's just no way to help that because it's such a flawed logic. Because it's a boutique brand. And yes, you bought that boutique brand. You were buying other things and you got that boutique brand. So then sell it to someone if you don't want it. Like, one of the reasons why Giant Bomb has survived is that it is personality driven and feels like an independent despite being owned. And that feeling of part 2 is because of part 1. It wouldn't feel independent if it was soulless. And it will be soulless if it is not made up of people. Like pushed forward people. And if you run websites where it's all about the content and not about the people who make the content, I understand why you will never get that. In the same way that, like, not putting names on articles, that kind of a thing. Obfuscating that as much as possible. Not having personal lists, a thing that Kotaku has been running into. And Polygon was running into. The idea of, like, not having, like, end of the year lists that are personalized. Because, well, people come and go. But the website the brand is supposed to be bigger than the people. And Giant Bomb is only the people. Like, one of the reasons why folks weren't so worried when the last round of layoffs happened is because Dan came back. Dan was, to borrow a turn of phrase, restoring the feeling with some people. And it was like, well, if Dan's there, then, like, it'll still feel like Giant Bomb, right? Jan's there. It'll still feel like Giant Bomb. You know? Like, well, Bacalar will be around. It'll be on some podcast stuff. It'll still feel like Giant Bomb. Like, yeah. Yeah. And you tell yourself that. And it might be true to you and to other people. And you can be like, well, Nextlander's there. Waypoint's there. Remap is there. Jeff Gerstmann's doing stuff. It's like, people are out there. Abby sometimes streams. Sometimes she does stuff with Nextlander. And you can go see that. You know, like Austin's around. Austin's got some podcasts. You can hear Austin on podcasts if you want to hear Austin on podcasts. Sometimes he even talks about video games on podcasts. It's a weird time. And especially for people that kept it alive. Vash, the Danish is subscribed for 11 months. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site tier 2 in the chat, saying, I've been following GB since arrow pointing down days, so all this news has been a real downer, but hoping for everyone still gets supported wherever they land. Yes. Thank you for your support. Appreciate that. Thank you for hitting the subscriber button. 11 months is a lot of months. Thank you very much for that. It's almost the 1 year. I got to take a photo of this kit, and then I got to start a new kit. The personalities are still great, and we're supporting wherever they together or spread apart. Yes. A thing that I have said often and continues to be true, no matter what, is I'm very happy for people getting work and doing stuff. It's always awesome when they end up doing stuff with people I already like and already listen to. Like, holy shit. It was nice when Dan came back to Giant Bomb for a lot of people because they were like, okay, well, now he's back at a place I already keep tabs on. Or when Patrick ended up at Waypoint, was like, thank fucking God, because I don't know what else the fuck he was at. I don't care about MTV News for games or G4 or whatever. Like, it's like, okay, great. Well, now they're in place. Because when people move on and go to other places, it's hard to follow them. Or like, there was a podcast someone I really like was on with someone I don't like. I'm not going to say either of those names. Neither of them were ever Giant Bomb employees. But a friend of mine worked for a now defunct website with another person I don't like. And I didn't want to listen to their podcast and hear the person I didn't like. Yeah, it's... And if you're not into solo streams or not into night streams or, you know, late afternoon streams, depending on where you are, like, it can be tough to follow people and to keep track of what they're up to and where they are and what they're doing. It can be very difficult. And so I get it. While sometimes people are just like, well, I know this thing is happening. All right, let's get rid of that. We are moving on. We are starting the Gundam 00 Diver Arc High Grade. This is a kit that came out in... This is from the Gundam Build Metaverse. So this kit came out in 2023. So it is part of the Gundam Build series. It is one of the few kits that came out for the multiverse. Or metaverse, I should say. The metaverse. So it is the Gundam 00 Diver with a bunch of extra parts. And it's a lot of extra parts. And it's still fun, and it's got the GN drive stuff. And we start with the head, which always feels weird, but we will endeavor. And I don't remember where anything is on here. I got L. But yeah, Giant Bomb stuff, tough to read about, tough to know about. I hope that people land somewhere. I mean, look, best case scenario, someone above Bacalar's new boss looks at this and goes, no, what? I like them. They make weird stuff. And people still think they're independent and they, you know, like, whatever. Like, no. Yeah, okay, worry about integrations. What are we doing? I don't think that's going to happen. That would be best case scenario. Is that someone above this new boss is like, what are we doing here? No, they're fun. Let them, like, leave them alone. Let them do their thing. But I don't feel confident in that. Now, I also do not feel confident in the future of Polygon. Polygon is unfortunately going the way of Waypoint, where it will continue to exist as a husk, and it will not be the same thing that you remember. Polygon, great video content, excellent website, more than just games, because that's the landscape and they were doing the thing, but lots of very smart people working on that in all aspects, really talented people working there. Very few of those talented people work there today. It was sold. Polygon has been sold to Valnet. Valnet have gutted and destroyed lots of good websites. They've destroyed comic book resources so much that people forget that CBR used to be good. Like, people have completely forgotten that comic book resources used to, like, have good interviews, do good reporting, have good reviews of stuff, they have made that site worthless and like terrible to visit. And they are bad. And in portion of the sale, they did not necessarily want people. They wanted the name and the resources and all of that, because nobody ever thinks that maybe this is good because of the people working there. They think this is good because of all of the traffic that goes there. And they never go, and why does the traffic go there? Well, because it's a great website with great content. Wait, they never get that far. They never fucking get that far. Just about everyone good associated with Polygon is gone. Submit, Pat Gill, Chris Plant, one of the co-founders, Nicole Carpenter, Nicole Clark, Charlie Hall, Matt Leone, OneUp.com's Matt Leone, features in chief guy for Polygon, one of the last holdouts of old media, Matt Leone. Done. It is absolutely wild to think about that site being the way it is now. Just unbelievable. 25 people reportedly. I have seen like 20 names, some of which I'm not super familiar with because they worked beats I didn't pay attention to. Like, I was not super invested in some of their comic coverage. I like their anime coverage, certainly. But some of their other pop culture stuff, I just wasn't as interested in. So I didn't check that stuff out. So those names don't really hit me. But like, Michael McWhorter wrote a lot of articles that I read of game news, like, and gaming news. Like, I'm very familiar with him. Gone. I believe that, now this is of course to reports, not confirmed. I believe that Maddie Mayers and Zoe Hanna were hired or were kept or were given offers that they accepted. It does sound like some of the managing editors, not all of them, but some of them were offered deals, and some people took those deals, and it sounds like some people did not take those deals. At least a couple people who are like at Vox Media for that have stayed at Vox Media. I should also say, hey, it's important to talk about how Vox had been stalling out on union talks. Their contracts are coming up. And Vox Media had been very hands-off and very, like, dismissive of points, but not offering things in any good, like, consideration. And one could make an assumption. Again, this is an assumption. One could make the assumption, hey, maybe they didn't do that because they knew that they were not going to be in charge of that company soon. That they were going to sell the company, so they did not bother. Sorry, let me just check this right here. Okay. So they didn't bother, and they just stalled out until the sale went through. And I don't know. Or they just weren't interested in really dealing with the union anymore. But I will say this. Everyone who was laid off was part of the union. Hooray. No union members left at the newly owned Polygon. Really fucking sucks. Polygon did good work. This feels like somebody asked what this could be compared to, and the comparison that I made was the One-Apocalypse, which some folks may not be familiar with. Basically, huge layoffs at Ziff Davis, took out whole magazines, killed those magazines, Almost every single person I loved at oneup.com was laid off, including UGO, which they owned as well. Lots of people were let go at that point. It was a fucking nightmare. It is how a bunch of podcasts started up, like Rebel FM. And a bunch of people got into various podcasts. The people that stayed had to like do new podcasts, and it was a fucking nightmare. It was massive layoffs, and it was a real sea change in that whole industry when all those people got fucking laid off. And this is like the closest to that, just the end of, most likely the end of Giant Bomb, the slow death of Giant Bomb, and the complete gutting of everyone good that worked at Polygon. There are a few people that stayed on that are good. I don't want to say that, but like, if you're getting rid of Pat Gill, like, I don't know what the fuck you want to be doing with I mean, I do know what you want to do with Polygon. You don't want to be making cool video content. Like, if you're getting rid of Pat Gill, you do not want to make cool videos anymore. Just simple as that. Because there's just no other reason. Like, oh, you don't want video content, you don't want good writing on your website, you want regurgitation of other websites. How many of those are still left? But yeah, you don't want anything cool on the site. You just want to you just want all of that SEO. Yes, I mean, look, I don't know where Pat ends up, but I will tell you this. I have not emailed Ben Schwartz in a very long time. I will let Ben know where Pat ends up. I will go out of my way when Sonic 4 comes in season, be like, hey, just so you know, this is the website Pat Gill ended up, in case you don't know that. Because he will probably know. But I will go out of my way to be like, Ben, we have not talked in a while. I hope you're doing well. I hope this email finds you well. Just letting you know, this is the place that Pat Gill works at now, if you want to go on and talk about Sonic 4 and continue the bit. Because I want to say, like, look, I haven't had to talk to, we haven't talked in a while. I don't need to have had to talk to him in a while to know that Ben Schwartz still loves the bit. That's a man that loves a bit and will go out of his way to do the bit. So I will do my best to facilitate the bit continuing. Because it's a good bit. If you haven't seen him, Pat Gill interviewing Ben Schwartz are some of the weirdest interviews that Ben has ever done for Sonic. Not in general, but specifically for the Sonic franchise. It's some of the weirdest interviews. And they're all very good in their own weird way. And I love them very much. I missed a little question that said, get rid of that pesky talent and insert more ads and poorly paid people that probably have to do a lot of bullshit. Yeah. I mean, look, one of the things, the wildest fucking thing to imagine who got laid off at Polygon are people that make guides. Like, that's just reducing headcount at that point. Because if you're getting rid of guide writers, then you don't actually care about anything except, well, in order to sell this for the price we agreed on, we need to cut some of these people out. And then we can hire new people. Like, that's all you care about, is that. You do not care about anything else. And it's good to just know that they don't care about anything else. Because if they did, they would want to keep the money train going as it is, but they don't want that. They have grand ideas of spending less money to making the same amount of money or more money, because the people that bought it are looking at and saying, well, Vox wasn't running this efficiently, because that's how this fucking company works. Like, that's how Valnet is going to work. Yes. Yes, this just assume that you can hire one person to oversee AI written bullshit. Just a lot of people looking for work now who are very talented, and I don't know where the fuck they go because not all of them are gonna be able to start a Patreon and have Twitch subs and YouTube memberships and do all that, because a thing that I have been stressing is that if you go that route, then retention becomes your job. Your job becomes make content for new people and keep the people you have as long as possible, and it becomes a shit job. It's a different job. It ain't a great job. That part of the job. Some people excel at it. I would say if you're like one person, like, yeah, I mean, look for more work, ramp up that Patreon, ramp up some exclusives, but like at a certain point, the people that don't want to pay you extra money don't like the fact that you spend so much time making shit for the people that are happy to give you money, but you now have to give them a reward for giving them money, because some people need that extra. They crave that extra. You can't just they don't want to support you. Some people will say, yeah, I don't watch any of that stuff. I just want to give you money. I don't care. Like, oh, it's nice to have ad-free podcasts, but like, that's fine, whatever. You don't have to do all this, but like, you become incentivized to doing more and more, right? Like, you need to have extra stuff. You have to keep growing and doing more things. And your job becomes retention. And not everyone's fucking cracked up for that. And also, there's only so much fucking money out there. There's just only so much. Like, maybe you don't want to do 404 Media, and you don't want to do Aftermath, and you don't want to support a bunch of websites like that. And you're like, well, I only have so much money to give to Patreon. Like, there's only so many people I can support, and I want to support the people that are working hard and doing that stuff. But it's just like, well, now this one website closed, and there's 7 new Patreon. And like, that's not sustainable for people. That's just not reasonable at all to expect people to be able to support all of those folks. And I understand that in 15 minutes, I am going to remind you that I have a Patreon, that you can support me here on Twitch, that I have YouTube memberships open. I'm going to tell you all of that stuff, and I'm going to like promote all the things that I do. I understand I'm going to fucking do all that. And I don't, like, I know that's all coming. Because I have to remind you, because sometimes people are like, oh, shit, okay, yeah, I should subscribe. And so I'm going to play the game and do the thing. Yeah, it's like, yeah, we've got a recession coming, that we've got, there's a lot of people who are desperate and need assistance and need help to do the stuff they want to do. And also, as I always say, you being here is the most important thing. All the other stuff is, like, I'm not pleading and I'm not demanding and I'm not, like, surprised if you don't go for it. But also, like, let's see, sorry, I need JK. Where's K? M N O P. Sorry, K. Where's K? Here's K. I found it. Sorry, got distracted. Yeah, it's It's just fucking a nightmare out there, and it's a rough ask to say to people like, hey, I need you to support me on this with, put your money where your mouth is and help me out. Like, it's just fucking rough out there, friends. It's real rough out there. A lot of tough asks. And I don't think I posted this on Blue Sky. I don't think that it's going to work for everybody. Like, I just don't. Like, let's say everyone from Giant Bomb leaves and starts up a thing. It'll get Patreon support. It'll get Twitch subscribers. There are plenty of people who are at Giant Bomb for those folks and will want to continue to support them. But what happens if one of them stays and moves to GameSpot? What if one of them accepts a full-time job somewhere? Because you fucking gotta eat. They pick up a job running video for another website or something. Or they get a job because somebody's just like, I mean, it would be nice to have a new person running up our video stuff. Or we got a budget for weird shit. We could get Dan Reichert in here. Or Dan tries to get a job doing podcasts for AEW because he worked in WWE, and once you work one place, you could probably work the other place because they fucking love hiring people that used to work somewhere else. They fucking love that shit. Josh Matthews is working in the production truck for AEW. Because he's been in wrestling for long enough that people are like, oh yeah, I like Josh. We can get Josh in here. And Josh is married to one of the people that does training and coaching for AEW. So like, yeah, of course he fucking ends up there. It's like Dan showing up to like, because they want to ramp up their podcast productions or something. Like, because he's friends with Uno and Adam Cole. It's like, that's not impossible. Yeah, it's just like not impossible at all to imagine that. And then it's like, well, Dan's not there at this new thing. Is that a deal breaker for you? It's like, oh, I don't know, I don't know. So it's like, okay, all right, like, and without backing, is it the same? Does it work? Is it better? Is it different? Is it what you want? Will it take so long to start up that you've already found something else to watch? Will you never hear about it because you tuned in to a website or to a YouTube channel or a Twitch stream on a Tuesday and it wasn't there, and it wasn't there for a couple weeks, and then you were like, oh, I guess they're done. Oh, Jeff's streaming. I haven't seen Jeff in a long time. I'll watch the Jeff Gerstmann show. And then that's it. And you never hear about it. The other day, I was in a Discord and people were talking about stuff, and someone brought up Remap, and there was a person that was like, is that where didn't know Remap existed. Just didn't know. Probably would have loved Remap this whole time. Just didn't know about it. Didn't hear about it. I have been model kit building since 2019. And I still get people being like, oh, I didn't know you streamed. And it's not fine, but I do have to accept that is true. It's okay. It's all right. Did have somebody the other day being like, oh, I didn't know you streamed games. It's just like, oh, okay. I do. Please come check it out. It's fun. Pretty fun. You'll have a good time. You'll like it. Or you won't like it. It's okay. Yes, that's what this is, Lord Crashington. So like, yeah. I'm not out here telling people doom and gloom and it'll never work and none of these people will be able to do something out there and all that. But I am saying that it worked for Nextlander, it worked for Jeff, Min-Max has managed to make it a thing. Kind of Funny certainly did it. Kind of Funny, in many ways, was a no-brainer. But like NoClip has gone through a lot of revisions to figure out what this is. And like, I'm fucking always going to be a cheerleader for Danny O'Dwyer and doing what Danny O'Dwyer wants to do. But it's like, it's fucking hard out there. Hard to make that work. It's hard out there, like to do the independent thing. But also it's like, well, what's he going to fucking do? What else are any of these people going to do? I don't know. Good luck to them is what I say. Good luck to them. If they want me on it, hey, if they want to collab, let me know. Like that's basically where we're at. Hey, if you want to do something and want me to be a part of it, you let me fucking know. You got a new podcast? You want me to be a guest on it? You know, reach out. I'm available. I like doing fun stuff with fun people. I finally properly downloaded my top 10 lists, which I did 4 of. 2 video games, 2 anime top 10 lists. And then they didn't do them. And then they did do them, but they didn't. But apparently I needed to tell them that I would like to do one and just send one in, but I didn't know they were doing them, so I didn't send one in. And then I didn't ask again. I didn't pitch myself. Once, yeah. I did one with Rory after Alex left, and I didn't do one after that. I should have, but I didn't. It's okay that I didn't. But I did it for 4 years. And I've had the text of it saved, but I went and like got a good HTML version of it, a local version of it with the images that can load and all that. And I had to do that properly so that I have a good record of it. I should have done that sooner, the full thing sooner, but I didn't, because who the fuck knows, man? If Giant Bomb is such a safety concern for the brand, like, oh, I don't know, it could go. It could just go. I don't think it will, but it could. You finally decide it's not worth having. I don't think they will. But who knows? Also this week, EA laid off a bunch of people. A lot of people at Respawn. Some games canceled at Respawn. Originally, it looked like it was just some Respawn layoffs. Turns out it was more people than just Respawn being laid off. And we do like to keep up with that stuff. So I did feel that it was important to mention these layoffs happened. I need to figure out how this goes in like here. And it's a shame. And lots of people laid off there this week. 2 days ago. Yeah. About 300, between 300 and 400. And that was 100 Respawn employees, and then about between 200 to 300 more employees throughout the rest of EA. They had some incubation projects, one of which was a extraction shooter in the world of Apex, and I'm saying that instead of in the world of Titanfall to make myself feel better. But also, let's be real, they weren't going to call it Titanfall 3. They weren't going to say this is in the world of Titanfall. They were going to say it's in the world of Apex, because Apex is a household name and Titanfall is remembered by cool folks like you and me, but not everybody else. Because if they was like that, then they would have made a Titanfall 3. But they didn't make a Titanfall 3. They made Apex instead. And then Apex did really fucking well for them. So this extraction shooter in the world of Apex was one of them. This is the second time this has happened to EA and Respawn this year. And also last year, a lot of people. the past year and change, it is they've had about 1,000 people laid off, which is just devastating to even consider. Dragon Age Veilguard underperformed, but apparently also EA Sports FC 25 tanked. But I guess, everything's going to turn around for them now that they have less people working there and going all in on AI. That's really going to turn things around. Also, the Xbox is going up in price, and they're going to do first-party games at $80 this holiday season. One of those stories is unfortunately just part of our reality, and I understand why for some people that is just insane, but that in regions, including our regions, that consoles are going up in price, because back in my day, consoles went down in price. But that's because they could make them smaller and cheaper, and that just isn't a part of the reality anymore. Beyond tariffs, beyond like, oh, well, when you make it cheaper and smaller, it sells X amount more, and then we sell the software. That's also proving to be not true. But the main thing is just that manufacturing costs used to cut corners, and it used to like make sense. And then that doesn't make sense anymore, and that's just not how it works. Am I like, hell yeah, the Xbox is going up in price? No. But I'm like, yeah. When I read the story, I was like, yeah, makes sense to me. I mean, the Switch 2 is also going to go up in price. The launch price is not going to be the launch price of the Switch 2 is not going to be the top end of how much the Switch 2 is going to cost. Eventually, the Switch 2 will cost more. That's not me proclamating. That's the thing Nintendo has said. Jetsuits84 says, "Hey Pat, hope you're doing well in these trying times." I'm doing okay. Hey, turns out I have some rants in me, and ranting does actually make me feel a little better, even if it is a lot of doom and gloom. But also, thanks, Chatsu. Happy you're here. The big thing to me is Lord Crashing wants to hit the dance button. I will hit the dance button. We finished the head here, so we're going to move on to the chest. The big thing that we need to take into consideration here, and I am going to hit that dance button in just a second, don't worry, I just want to finish my thought, is there's never been a better time to buy a used console. If you want a console, fucking get it used, my friends. Buy that year-and-a-half old PlayStation 5 non-pro. Buy an Xbox S, that has been restored or whatever, Get the smaller hard drive one that's a little cheaper. That's whatever. Now's the time. Feels like Xbox saw $80 Mario Kart and went, hell yeah. I mean, Lashbrook, also Sony's going to raise the price of their games. They haven't said they're going to, but they are. It's going to happen. The $60 to $70 took so long, took years and years and years. The jump from 70 to 80 is going to be a blink and you missed it. And that to me feels like a course correction, not a greedy. I mean, look, I'll say this. All these companies are fucking greedy. Of course they are. You don't get to be a multinational billion and billion dollar corporation by being consumer friendly. Don't get it twisted. I am not defending any of these companies. I am not defending any of these choices. I am just saying, it was, yes, it was gonna happen, and now it's happened. And the idea that Mario Kart pre-orders outpaced regular because you're saving some money doesn't mean that people aren't also going to spend $80 on Mario Kart if they couldn't get that bundle. They're going to buy it. Because if you have a Switch 2, you're probably going to be playing Mario Kart. Not everyone, but a lot of people are going to fucking be playing Mario Kart on that. Because it's the new Mario Kart. And it's a game you can play with your family and friends. I owe you a dance button, and I'm going to hit that dance button. Thank you for using your channel points, Lord Crashington. It's a new month. Here's a new song for the dance button. Thank you for using your channel points for the dance button. I'm going to do it on this screen right now. Dude. All right. I think that drop should be more pronounced than it is, but it's still a fine drop. Thank you for using your channel points for something silly like the dance button. Let's see. Needs a bit more bass. Yeah, it's still a fine enough song. Anyway, hi. This is the Pause for the Cause. This is the part of the stream where I talk to you about all the ways you can support the channel after telling you that that's not feasible for a lot of people. And to be clear, this is not my full-time job. Patreon, Twitch, YouTube memberships, it barely keeps this going. It doesn't make me money. I am doing this to eventually make money somewhere else, but I am doing this right now to remind you that you being here is very important. It's the most important thing. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave Lego Site Tier 2 Blue emote in the chat to let you know that being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. That you being a subscriber means a lot, and I appreciate you doing that. But also, I'm telling you that, like, yeah, model kits, I have to keep buying model kits in order to build them. And if you want to help me do that, you can. If you want to, it'd be great. Being a subscriber, you don't see ads during the stream. No ad breaks for you. You don't see ads before the stream starts. You get cool emotes. It's pretty neat. And you directly support me. So if you want to throw those emotes in chat, let the people see those cool emotes that my friend Xandra made, who I made friends with because of Giant Bomb. That's how I got to know Xandra. And then found out that Xandra, a character based on Xandra, was in a webcomic that I've been reading for years. Because the world is small and fucking weird as hell. My God, is the world weird. But anyway, I have other ways to support me, like the aforementioned Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. Over on Patreon, there's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There's different rewards for different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. My $10 patrons voted on this kit, the Gundam 00 Diver Arc, as the kit I should work on now. So it's thanks to them that I'm doing this kit at this very moment. Also, on my old Patreon, this my schedule for the month just went up today, so you can check that out. Let's see. I have a YouTube channel at youtube.com/PatBear. Over on my YouTube channel, you can subscribe, of course, if you'd like, for free. If you want to become a member for just $2 a month, you get my Tuesday videos before anybody else. So the video that went up yesterday, people would have seen that on Tuesday. So if you want to see my Kuma Baer series a day before everybody else does, if you want to know what the new theme for next month is before other people find out, you can find that out next Tuesday instead of having to wait till next Wednesday. That's pretty good. Let's see. We got my YouTube channel. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so those are all monthly ways to support me. If you want to support me just on a one-time basis, you can go to my PayPal or my Ko-Fi. Everything I make through direct donations, through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund. And out of that fund, I pull money out to buy model kits and Lego sets and sometimes equipment. It looks like, okay, yeah, we do not have... The AdSense has not updated. It usually takes a few days to update, so that is not yet. I always like to look at that. But yeah, those are ways to support me financially if you wanted to. Again, only optional. You don't have to do any of these things. But if you wanted to, you certainly could. let's see. Is there anything else that I need to? I just want to check real quick to see how a video that I will be telling you about in a second. Let me see how that did. How did that do? How's that video doing? How's this short doing? 65 views. Okay, not great for one day, but also it's hard to compare it to last week's video, From Bureaucrat to Villainous, Dad's Been Reincarnated, which is the most viewed short I've ever made for that series. So it's like, okay. But like 60 something in a day, not too bad. It could hit over the weekend. It could not hit at all. Maybe nobody wants to hear about Orb. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, the kit I'm currently working on, as mentioned, was picked out by my $10 patrons. It's something I should build. It's from my backlog. If you want to buy something from me build on stream, you can go to my Amazon wish list and buy something there. Anything purchased on the wish list will get its own dedicated video about the thing and how cool it is. And then also it'll jump the queue and become the next thing I work on, because that's the least I could do, is to build the thing or assemble the thing, because there's another jigsaw puzzle on that list. It's the least I could do is do the thing that you suggested and purchased. You spent your money. I'm going to do it as soon as I can. There's Lego sets, model kits, inexpensive kits, expensive kits, knockoff Lego, mega blocks in there, all kinds of different things. If you see something on that wish list you'd love to see me build on stream, well, you could just go ahead and buy it. And then like I said, it'll come to me and I'll build it. If you don't want to go through that and you rather go through another website, you can always go to Throne. Throne is my alternative to Amazon. It's nice to have alternatives out there. And then the most convoluted way to support me financially is to buy a gift card to USA Gundam Store. You go to USA Gundam Store, you buy a gift card. They will send you an email with a gift card code. Then you send me a whisper here on Twitch, or send me a private message on Mastodon or Blue Sky or Twitter with that gift card code, and then I will use that gift card code to buy something from USA Gundam Store, because that sounds good. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do our best there. People have done it, which is great. If you want to support me but not spend any money, you can always just join my Discord. I got a cool Discord full of fun people. Sorry, there it is. Oh, no. Oh boy. There it is. Alphabetical order. That's what I wanted. I want alphabetical order. I have a Discord. You can join my Discord. We got cool people hanging out in there. We'd love to have you hang out in there as well. A couple of video links for you to check out. This week I put up a new episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club with my recommendations for the spring season. There's a bunch of fucking good anime out there, and I talked about them. And you should watch some of these anime, or at least it'll give you some ideas about a few things to check out. And then there's a few comments in there of people who are watching other stuff that they recommend, and that's nice. And then Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation series all through the month of April, which this came out on the last day of April, so it's still part of that. It's just how it worked out. Anyway, I was talking about my favorite shows from the winter season. This is a show from the fall 2024 season I didn't watch until it became the winter season, and I went back and watched all of it. It's Orb. God damn it, Orb on the Movements of the Earth is fucking unbelievable. Content warning. This is a fucking depressing ass show. It's a hard watch. I literally am going to make a YouTube series or part of Pat Bear's Anime Club at some point. I don't know when I'm going to do this, but at some point for Pat Bear's Anime Club, I am going to do a video about how I don't want to watch Orb again. It has now joined the pantheon of anime I'm glad I watched that I don't think I'll ever rewatch, because it's heavy and great, but I just don't think I can do it again. It's a drama about man's desire to understand the universe, and also man's desire to protect the answers they already cling to, and it's fucking devastating and awesome. You should watch Orb. It's really fucking good, and also a really goddamn tough watch. Anyway, I have some anime to recommend to you, and then also we'll talk about some gaming and kind of like hang out, and it'll be fun in that regard. In order to start that, I do need to go back to the overhead camera, continue to work on this model kit. Also, I gotta drink some water. And we're going to do that dramatically right now. All right. Back at it again. Putting some poly caps in here. This kit, even though it came out in 2023, is based on an older kit and therefore has poly caps. You know, like right now, that's the thing. Even if it's a modern release, it's still based on an older kit. It's just an upgrade of an older kit, so it's still going to have those. And I am not free of poly caps. I don't think anytime soon. Let me see. This is going to be, that's going to be the 2023. This is going to be an earlier, probably. Let's see if I can read that. Yes, 2008. The origins of some of this kit are from 2008. Obviously, this plastic is not that old, but the mold and design is. So that should give you some indication of the age of this particular, the vintage of this, of some of this design. And then again, new parts printed in 2023 to do the upgrades, but it's still the kit. It's still that kit. All right. We slide this in like that. Oh. Not fully connected. There we go. We got one side done. Can we get the other? We did. Okay. Anime. I got two shows to talk to you about. Mobile Suit Gundam GQuuuuuuX and Catch Me at the Ballpark. Two very different kinds of shows, but we'll talk about the episodes. If you missed my stream on Monday, I kind of talked through how I'm changing a bit. I am not going to be doing the very, very detailed. I'm doing more of an overview. This should allow me this should allow me to talk more about how I'm feeling about the series and less of a play-by-play. It should make it so that, like, some of the smaller moments, if you're watching along but you haven't caught up on the episodes, you won't miss out on some of the smaller, sillier details. And it also theoretically means that I can start doing more coverage of some of these shows because I am not taking as detailed of notes. And in some instances, I might even rely on other write-ups just to be like, oh yeah, yes, I watched this episode, and yes, those are the major key points and all that, and then adding my own thoughts. So theoretically, I will start ramping up the shows and start going back on, like, here's some previous episodes. I want to add this to the roster. So starting on maybe Monday or maybe Saturday, I think Saturday I'll talk about 3 shows and just start easing into talking about a third show, because I think I should talk about Mono because it's really fun. Or one of the cooking show, or the travel show. I should talk about another show about girls doing things, because we got a good amount of them this season. We're eating well on the girls doing things subgenre. So I should at least be covering one of them. I also need to put a sticker in here. And maybe I should have done that sooner, but I'll do it now. L6. This sticker here. GQuuuuuX. So Suji, who is the Red Gundam pilot, he's just like, yeah, we're going to get to Earth. Just so you know, we're doing this to making a bunch of money. And then when the clan battle when we make enough money in the clan battles, we're going to go to fucking Earth. And does kind of speak as if the Red Gundam is like a person. And using like we and that kind of thing, which I think is fine. Which Machu, our main character, is just like, yeah, all right, sure. And then we are introduced to the witch, Shinki Sukugai, who makes an appearance. And she has been looking for the Red Gundam. Because she wants revenge on the Red Gundam. And it's like, oh, cool, we got ourselves a mini boss. We got ourselves like, hey, here's our, like, rival for a while, right? No. Um, she is piloting our witch is piloting a Gelgoog that looks kind of like a Gundam. It's one of the weirdest looking Gelgoogs I've ever seen. Like, clearly there's been some modifications on a Gelgoog, not just like for like vibe and style reasons, but also for some storyline reasons. But yeah, it's a cool looking Gelgoog. And she's like kind of basically, it's got enough she's a good enough pilot, and it's got enough technology and gear in it to kind of be like a new type. And we see this like frantic battle where she's like definitely better, I would say, than Shinki, bringing them into a like flash. And then Shinki is just like kind of like talking about how like someone is talking through the Red Gundam, which we would assume is Char, but we don't fucking know. We don't know. But it's assumption that the Char is communicating and kind of helping. Anyway, our new rival is fucking dead. Just dead, because that's how far Shuji is willing to go for his goals, which is getting that money and getting to Earth. And yeah, and he is willing to easily kill for it. And yeah, intense battle. That's the episode. It's heavy. It's kind of interesting because, like I said, a different anime would like a different anime would be like, okay, well, like this is going to be our thing, like a cat and mouse, a game of cat and mouse will take place for the next however long. And this anime was like, no, fucking kill her now. We got to move in this story. Lashberg is adding some context that, yeah, this is a Gundam that they were working on. They were working on the Gelgoog, and then they got a Gundam, so they switched into doing like a mass-produced version of the Gundam, which is called a Gelgoog, and isn't really that much like a Gelgoog. It's a cool-looking mobile suit. It's just, yeah. Yeah, it's also, yes, Ghost Valve mentions that it's also a bit like the GM, which makes sense. And it's just, it's their inclusion of a little bit of some their interpretations of the main story, which obviously is branched significantly for this. I thought the fight looked good. I think this story, like, I am a fan of the original series. I am a fan of the continuations. It's been a hot minute. I'm lost on occasion. I think the vibes are still good. I think the animation quality is solid. I'm not super sold on the designs. I think in motion, I still like them better. I've talked about this already. But yeah, this one is not hitting me. For some people, I know that this show is hitting them in ways that they didn't get hit on Witch from Mercury. But I do think it's important to remember that when I'm talking about Gundam series, that I've really loved every series that's not part of the UC, with the exception of I only kind of liked... Okay, I'll say this. My favorite Gundam series are weird offshoot series, and this should feel like an offshoot, but instead, to me, it just feels like a mainline series with some weird quirks to it and a different art style. But it hasn't become its own entity in my mind. Like, it's just a weird Gundam series, but it's not weird enough yet. You're excited for the Black Bi-Stars, the tease? Yes. Next episode, yes. There'll be more things happening in the next episode. But yeah, because I am not faithful to the original stuff, because I like so much of the weirder things out there, I think I'm just like not I'm not vibing with it as hard as some people are. I still like it. I'm still watching it, but it ain't G-Witch to me. I don't know. I might come around on it. Who knows? I'm gonna keep watching. Don't you fucking worry about it. I'm gonna keep going with it. And then Catch Me at the Ballpark is the other show that I'm watching that we'll talk about tonight. I will have more things to say about. Like I said, I'm going to probably ramp up the anime I'm talking about here. If you haven't been watching Catch Me at the Ballpark, it is a story of a bunch of characters that work or attend a minor league baseball team's home games in Japan. The main character, from what there is, the two main characters, I should say, are our girl Ruriko, who is a guru of sorts. She is a beer girl. She is selling beer. And of course, it's because of Japan. There is a following. She's getting herself a following. We're dealing with that. We also have our main guy, Murata, who is a salaryman that is having trouble at work. And he escapes from the reality of his job he does not love by going to the minor league ballpark. And there are a bunch of other characters. Yamada, who is a concession stands employee that kind of wanted to be a beer girl. There's a mascot, various baseball players, a character who I didn't remember at first, but during the episode was like, oh, that's right. Now I remember who Yuki is. I didn't remember who Yuki was. My apologies. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, there's security guards and other employees and some other families that are there. And as I said, the best minor character is the mascot. The mascot fucking rules. There's an American guy who is not voiced by anyone where English is their native language. And it's kind of bonkers and great. There's a lot going on in the show. Anyway, in this episode, let's see, we need 5. That's this piece here. In this episode, 3 stories because they're just quick little hits, like short chapters of a manga. We start off with Murata shows up and he runs into there's a Shimizu. Shimizu is a new employee, and she's also there to watch baseball. And they talk about that, and they realize oh, hey, well, we don't really know each other, but we know of each other. Yeah, let's watch a baseball game together. That sounds fun. So they're there and they're hanging out, and then both Ruriko, who is pick this guy out as one of, maybe she's flirting with him, but also he's one of her regulars. So she's got some kind of stakes, I guess you could say, when it comes to him. And then also Yamada, who is, they're both a little jealous of hey, why is this kind of nice guy loser hanging out with a girl? And yes, it's his coworker, but it's still a girl. What's going on? So we got a little of that. The love story aspect, or the will they won't they, is not anything that I'm particularly interested in. But introduction of another character. I love the idea of his work life kind of meshing with his after work activities and his hobby. So that those things kind of colliding is at least interesting. So I'll take that, even if I'm not it's not my favorite part of the show. And then Yuki, who again, I couldn't remember who this was because we only met her once. She does not really care about baseball, but her husband plays baseball, Kojiro. So she's trying to be a supportive wife, and she shows up, and so she's buying the themed meal packs because the baseball players all have your favorite player, or you can get the meal pack that's themed around things they like or whatever, and it's a way to support individual wrestlers, support individual baseball players and supporting the team. And she sees that another woman is buying 2 packs for Mitsui, and it's just immediately it's oh, you like that guy? You don't like my husband? And like, you know, there's this bit of rivalry happening between these two girls. And we find out, this other girl, Kisa, is actually Mitsui's girlfriend. And she's also just trying to support, you know, her boyfriend. And they have a lot in common, these two girls. And they could be friends, but they're also like, they're so supportive that their toxic supportiveness of their, of the guys that they're with, their husbands or boyfriend, makes it so like they don't recognize that, like, oh, this is someone that I have a lot in common with and we could probably be friends. And I, as I said, immediately way more interested in this than the previous story. This is already great and very fun. And then the third story is we are introduced to a parent and child, because I don't right. Let me look at my notes. Did Megami show up in? I'm gonna look up this name. I want to say this is the first time. Yeah, okay, that's a new character. There was another girl that got lost in one episode, and she came back later because she was there with the mascot. So there's rain. They have a rain delay, and there's a new person coming in, Koki, and his daughter Megami. And the episode, this is a short little stinger of it, is just like, there's a rain delay and they're bummed out, and then Ruriko kind of shows up and cheers up the father-daughter duo by just her usual brand of being kind of aloof and kind of a giru and kind of a bitch, but like in an endearing way. So much so that they're just like, they make the best of it and have fun, and then the skies clear up and the game can continue, and then the Motor Sons win the game, and it's just like a fun little end of the episode. I like this part. I don't think we need to keep introducing characters, but maybe the two young girls who go to baseball games will become friends, and that would be nice. But I don't know. I am really just enjoying the silliness of this show. It's a light. This is a fucking easy ass watch. Now, some people will not enjoy that Ruriko is mean to our theoretically main guy Murata. That her antics are mean. But to that I say, he is not an interesting or compelling character. And so I am not saying he deserves it, but I am saying that character does not hate this attention. He is totally fine with it. And I am okay with it, because everyone is an adult. And also, I don't need this like employee customer relationship stuff anyway. So like if she's just going to be rude to him in a playful manner, I'm not going to be mad about it. Like, I'm not going to get upset about that part. But I know some people are like, I don't like the show because of that. And it's like, okay. You don't have to watch it. I'm just telling you, I like it. All right, let's get this backpack on. Backpack is on. Got a little piece that pops up there. All right, now we're building. It looks like we're going to... What? Yeah, we're going to start with the, like, parts that go on as like shielding for the arms, which feels weird to build those now, but we will. They do have stickers. These are like the GN drive stuff, so we'll put that together now because we can. Now is the part of the stream, folks, where I want to hear from you. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you up to? What are you into? What do you got going on? I love hearing from you about what you're into. It always makes me happy to hear. So feel free to let me know what you got going on, what you're up to, if you're playing any games or watching anything, or just stressing about websites you like closing. For me, on Tuesday, I checked out Nubby's Number Factory. And then on Wednesday, I played about an hour of Nubby's Number Factory. And then today, Thursday, I played about an hour of Nubby's Number Factory. turns out I think that game's pretty fucking great. And sometimes I get a run and it feels really good. And sometimes I don't get a run and there's like 3, games in a row where I just have the sun explode and the game is over and I feel like I didn't do anything and didn't get any good luck. And my skill was nowhere where it should be. And then there's sometimes where I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm fucking nailing this shit. I have the stars to unlock more variations and more versions of the supervisor Tony. I have not done so yet. I will do that. I do think that I will stream this game again. When? I don't know, but I will stream it again because I want to show off more of the modes. And also, it's just, I said this on stream. I said this when I put up the archive. I mean it when I say this. This might be the best $5 I've spent in years on a fucking video game because holy shit, it's so much goddamn fucking fun. It is a Peggle style game, but also there's a lot of modifiers and it's not necessarily a skill game so much as a luck game and picking the right things, and the number goes up. Boy, you can make the number fucking go up. And when you make the number go up, it's really fucking satisfying. It is very inventive and very weird, and a really goddamn good time. And I recommend it. Nubby's Number Factory is just like, yeah, it's quite simply my favorite. It's my game of the year so far. And I would not have expected that at all. I've also been playing Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 3, which I really like. And the meta narrative of it, I think, is very compelling and good. And I'm glad it exists. And I am pretty good with it. But the game I'm thinking about is Nubby. As far as Hearthstone goes, because I'm going to be playing Hearthstone. I have a standard deck, which I have been enjoying the standard deck quite a bit. It does silly things and wins on occasion, and I enjoy that aspect of it. There's some bonuses right now in Hearthstone for playing Battlegrounds, which is the chess game, the auto chess version of Hearthstone, and I've never been good at it. I've just never been good at any auto chess game at any all. My thing with Hearthstone is I can luck into a build that works out pretty good, but then I can't follow through. I've never been able to follow through in Battlegrounds. At some point, good players at some point in that pivot, they reach a certain tier and they're getting new things, and then the game opens up for them and they can suddenly do new cool things, and they pivot to that. They go from early Murlocs to late game dragons or whatever, or something like that. And I just have never been able to pivot, to learn when to pivot, how to pivot, what to pivot to. So I just start and do as well as I can for as long as I can. And sometimes that's enough to get top 4, but I'm not too bothered with it. I'd rather play Wild ladder than continue to do that, but whatever. That's where I'm at right now. And I think that's all the video games that I've been talking. I did a little bit of grinding because next Tuesday I will be playing only our second stream of Pokemon Heart Gold Randomizer. So I did a little bit of grinding in that today. I will be doing more of that over the weekend just because I want to raise my level up a little bit, get ready for it, be ready to do some more in the game. Maybe unlock something, but I think I'm gonna kind of fucking over level a bit here, just to make things easier in the beginning stages of the game, and then we'll take it from there. I am now going to read what some of y'all have been writing to see what's up. Ghost Valve says, other than keeping up with Gundam, I finished up on The Residence last week. Back to Borderlands 2 with the squad, trying out Claire Obscure, and so far liking it. Yeah, I've heard good things. I don't think that's necessarily on my radar or on my to buy list. I should actually, sorry, real quick. I did see a notice earlier that something on my Amazon or on my Steam wish list was on sale. So let me quickly just check that because I forgot to look at that. Let's see, what was that? No, it wasn't that. Oh, maybe it's not on sale anymore. Something. Oh, Wander Stop is on sale. It's still on my wish list, even though I own it. Wander Stop is on sale, folks. It's $20 right now. You should maybe get Wander Stop if you haven't already. I still have River Towns on my wish list. I own that game, and I own Wander Stop. Get out of my wish list here. Rooters are dead. I'm still thinking about getting that at some point. Also starting to think about, I'm still thinking about getting Promise Mascot Agency. The mascot management simulator. I still think would be a cool game to play, but I don't want to say it's not worth $25. I will just say that I cannot at this time allocate $25 to a video game I think looks cool. I just am not in a position to do that. I wish I was. I fucking wish I was in a position where I could go, $25, sure, but I'm not. Because sometimes when I need to do something that costs money, I have to ask for help. So I am not in a position where I can just spend to get what I like. I have to be a bit more frugal. But I do think that sounds like a cool video game, and I would like to play it. All right. Why are these not working? I might have to liquid cement these in. They're not sticking. These should be A3. These might not be A3. These might be A2. I might have messed up before I glue them in. Let's make sure. These are A2. They're not A3. That's why. A2 and A3 are pretty much identical, except that A3 has a little bit of a lip on it, so they will fit in the hands. These are the wrong pieces. I need to put these aside. So I will do that. Lashbrook says, been watching an illicit bombcast this week. Indeed, the bombcast that was up and then was no longer up. Installed enough mods to make my Morrowind folder 80 gigs. That's a lot of mods. That's so many mods. Been trying to make more of a gladiator type, but I can't resist the temptation just to steal everything in sight. I totally understand that. Why would it be there if it wasn't meant to go in my pockets? I get it. I understand. Sometimes you just fucking gotta. I also started Skin Deep, and that title sequence is amazing. Yeah! Skin Deep is a fucking lot. Like, that's not a me game at all, but that is a game I deeply appreciate watching people play. Because I've now seen several people play that, and that's pretty fucking good. Lord Crashin says, I've been playing some Penguin now that it's on PS5, which is fun little Peggle roguelike game with a lot of fun nonsense. I've heard good things about that game. Yeah, I want to say that was on my I want to say that's on my wish list. I have to look. All right, yes, these were the right pieces. I had the wrong circles on before, and I was about to glue them on, which would have been a bummer later. So I'm glad I didn't do that. I'm glad I didn't fuck up. All right, we'll panel line these things in a second here. Let me get the other piece on. Last Lore Crash says, I also been downloading Bombcast episodes for my archive's sake, and I hate that they didn't number the episodes for a long time, so I'm doing it now based on assumptions, and I know it'll go poorly when I reach the point where they start numbering them. Yes, they didn't number them. Also, if you go to a certain place that is trying to archive the Giant Bomb site and the videos, it is a project that has been going on for quite some time. Apparently, they dated one of the videos before the website existed, so it always would be the oldest video for some sort of back-end situation. And that video is the video that is the like thing that plays if you tried to watch a members only video via a link, like a nefarious link, and you try to get around the fact that you didn't have a membership, a video played, and they post dated that video to be the oldest video on the site, which I find very strange, and I don't know. I can make assumptions as to why they did that, but it was very funny to hear about that because people were like, "Why is this video from 2004? They didn't exist then." And it's like, oh, that's why. So some internal thing. It was always going to be the oldest video, or the earliest video, I should say. But yeah, there's some projects out there. I mean, you know, the podcast stuff that's been out there for quite some time. The video, the Giant Bomb Unarchived project existed for a very long time. I had someone on the Giant Bomb Unarchived were unhappy with me for a little while because I would request that they didn't put my 404 panels up, because oftentimes, because they were watching the live streams, they were putting it up before I could put it up on my YouTube, because either I recorded it and had to get it up, you know, I had to get the video together, or I was ripping the PAX Twitch feed. And so I would be like, please, this is going to be archived. It won't be archived on Giant Bomb just because Giant Bomb people are in there. Please don't put these up before I can, because if anyone's searching for it, they'll watch your video before they watch my video. And even I wasn't making any ad money on those videos, but like 404ing it. But to this day, I still make a little bit of money now and again because people, for nostalgia's sake, watch some of the improvised postmortem shows. Like those get some views, not a ton of views, but they get some views. So I get a little change on that. But it was very annoying. So yeah, the Giant Bomb Unarchived is a godsend for some of the like early stuff that like didn't make their archives, that was just like them live testing or things that they didn't feel like they wanted to put up, or they could only have on the website and not on the YouTube channel, or vice versa. Just stuff like that. There is some stuff on there that's really nice to have, but you know, they did do some extracurricular stuff that also included my stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna post it. The only way I wouldn't post it is if it was something that I wasn't proud of, in which case I guess I would tell you that it's there. Lucas says, I've also been downloading. Oh no, sorry. It's fun to see what metadata are there on those episodes. As one of the 2009 Game of the Year episodes, it's part of Ryan Davis's album instead of the Bombcast. That means that he did that in Audacity and didn't go through and change it, because for a long time, Audacity's default for that would just be your name, the name you put on your computer, stuff like that. It might have been another program, but I know Audacity did that a lot, so that could have been what happened there. That sounds annoying since they're not GB content, but your content has GB people on it. Yes, Lord Crash. So that was part of the thing, right? If somebody guested on a live stream, maybe they didn't archive it, so they would do that. And you know, not everybody was doing what I did, which was rip panels from the Twitch feed of a stream I wanted, that I was on, so that I could put it on my own website. So they were doing the work, which I appreciated. But like I said, I'm also doing the work. So please don't do that. Because I'm also doing that because it's my fucking videos. Or it's my and do I have technically did I have the right to rip a Twitch panel, a Twitch stream of a panel that I put on my own YouTube channel? I have actually no fucking idea. I know that I was never explicitly told in any documentation that content that happened at Twitch that happened at PAX was their property, because they didn't want to say that. They never wanted to say that. But if it was on twitch.tv/PAX2, can I rip that and upload it myself? I could record it myself. I could get audio from the board, I could get video, and I could put that up myself, and which I did when I did not have a live stream. But can I rip a Twitch live stream and put it on my own channel because I did the panel? And the answer to that question is, I don't fucking know. We'll find. We'll probably never find out because I don't think I'm going to do a PAX again, but I might. But yeah, someday somebody at Twitch could be like, "Hey, that's a PAX panel. You don't get to have that." And then we'll fucking find out if I do or not. I hope we don't have to find that out because I don't want to find out. I often, unfortunately, I exist in a world where I want to be perceived all the time, but I do not want to be perceived when it is, where it could be annoying. Please don't perceive me, Twitch. Please keep the money coming in as I do things on your service, but please don't perceive me and the shortcuts that I go through. Please. PAX will strike back when you least expect it. Hey, I should say that. You know this. I'm not going to be at PAX this weekend. PAX East is this weekend. If you're at PAX, have a fucking great time. Do some, wear a mask. Just fucking wear a mask, please. Please wear a mask. Wash your hands. Have hand sanitizer with you. Do the head nod at people. Be cool. Go to some panels. See some people. If you see someone you know that I am friends with, and you feel like you should say, "Hey, I watched Pat Baer's streams and he said to say hi," please do that if you're going to PAX, because that would be neat. I don't know. I miss it. I don't have FOMO for PAX anymore, but I do when I see photos of I am closing off for the night. Yes, we're about wrapping up. We are going to raid, but I am about done for the evening. I am doing my wrap up. Yes. I stream 9 p.m. to about 11 p.m. Eastern time. And so we are kind of in the home stretch here. I'm giving my little bit of an outro. But I should say that if you are going to be at PAX this weekend and you know, have a great time and look after each other. Again, the panels, I don't miss them too much. But like Tanya was talking about some of her panels and I was like, oh, Tanya's going to be there. I haven't seen Tanya in a while. I'd love to see Tanya. And there are a few other people I know they're going to be there doing some stuff. And also, I bet there's a bunch of people there doing things, and I don't know them. I've never met them, and I don't know their stuff. Or I didn't know that they did panels. I bet I'm missing out on some cool shit. So I always try to jump in now and again. I had not heard about PAX until Remta mentioned on their stream tag. Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, the people we know don't often go, or the people that are going aren't really talking about it. I love PAX East. I'm just going to miss it. 90% of the time I come in, it's right when you're signing off. Cheers and hope it was a good stream. It was. This was a good one. We talked a lot about some of the gaming news of today, which is not fun, but it was good to talk about. So, but we are going to raid. That is how we're going to end this stream. It's how we end every stream. We're going to find someone doing cool stuff and go hang out with them. How long have this person been going? I like to see how long some people have been streaming before we go and raid. I think that's neat to do. Let's see. P2, my friend P2 is playing No More Heroes, which is a fun poll. P2 usually plays a lot of indie titles, often a lot of new indie titles. So we're going to go raid my friend P2 because P2 rules. I hope you will come and check out P2 is online because I do love P2, good friend. But we always end the stream with a raid of someone that I know. And generally it's someone I know I've met in person. Weird, I know, right? But we're going to go on this raid. I hope you come along on it. I hope you will hang out with me on Saturday as I continue to work on this fine model kit. Have a great rest of your night. Thanks so much for being here, everybody. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.